Just a quick update video here to show you what the repaired minute hand looks like. This is a part that's small enough that I was able to use just an ordinary, I think it's a 45 or a 60 watt soldering iron that I use for radio restoration work. And I was able to solder this back together, and I've already went ahead and done a little bit of bluing to cover up all the filing I did after I did the solder job, cleaning up. And which side is more visible? I think this is the side that's going to face out. You can just see a little fillet there at the top of solder that I didn't get filed off. And this side will face the dial, and you can see there's a little bit of fillet there that's extending down a little further. And up close you can see the alignment isn't totally perfect, but it's gonna look pretty good once it's installed on the clock. And at normal viewing distance, it's not going to be really noticeable that the hand is broken. And I think it's only shorter by maybe less than a 1/16 of an inch or so. Whatever the thickness of the hand is at that point, it's about how much it overlaps. And when I had the clock apart, I did a little bit of adjustment to the tension there for the friction clutch for setting the time, because it was way too tight. And now I've got the hand at 180 out. Now it's much easier, and I can see why the hand probably broke off because of how tight it was. So basically at this point, I'm ready to put the dial on, the hands on, and regulate the clock. I'll have to find a pendulum for it though. This bob is off of my Seth Thomas 30-hour pillar and cornice clock, and this clock didn't have a pendulum. I've got a fairly lightweight bob that came with a Seth Thomas 8-day movement that was the wrong bob for it. That might work. I'd rather find an old bob or rob an old bob off of a clock. Maybe the other Seth Thomas 30-hour clock that's hiding behind this one right now. I might put the bob off of it on this clock and then put a repro bob on that clock. That way, since this clock has obviously got some issues, it's going to be a second tier status now. I don't mind putting some repro parts on it. But this clock is ready to have its dial installed and the put on the shelf, and I'll stick a screw through this hole to help secure it to the wall too. I won't use that hole because you have to have the dial off, and I don't like having to do that. I could use the mounting holes on the back that were installed by somebody. So there's the hands, the tension washer, and the pin. And those will all go on after the dial is installed. It'll be just like it was when I took everything apart. It'll just be opposite. I'll do a video here in a second. We'll get to see everything in its place. And I don't know what to do with the cabinet yet. It looks pretty nice. I really don't like doing a full-on restoration, especially when it looks this nice. I mean, look at that. There's still sheen on that. You can see the grain. That's annoying right there, and I'll use something to tone that out eventually. I mean, it's an old clock. It's gonna have evidence of its existence. Obviously, this note that was found in here is an interesting little piece that's gonna go back inside. And I don't want it to look like it just came out of the box or out of the clock dealer's shop. You know, that's kind of like erasing all of its history. I'd rather it showed a little bit of history. And it's got a few knocks and bumps, and that's part of the interest of it. So, anyway, thank you for following along and watching this series of rambling videos. And the next video you see will be of this clock in its home on the shelf with its dial, and we'll see you there.